After Qian entered the barrier, Qian looked at the scene before her eyes, her face filled with shock. It was a huge palace, and everyone who entered stood silently in the open space in front of the palace, sensing the powerful spiritual energy fluctuations inside. It proved that this was indeed a cultivator's dwelling, but Qian's face was a little ugly at this time, feeling that the palace in front of her was extremely gloomy, and she advised Chen Mo not to go in. Chen Mo knew that it wasn't that Qian was afraid, but that she felt the soul pressure from a high-level cultivator, signaling her not to worry. He had everything under control, but the palace was wrapped in a layer of formation, and everyone was helpless. Chen Mo stepped forward and smiled, telling them to move aside. Then, a burst of spiritual energy was unleashed. A gap suddenly appeared in front of the palace. Everyone followed Chen Mo in, and this palace was just a gate. After entering the palace, it was a different world. Not only was the space wider than the outside, but the concentration of spiritual energy was thousands of times higher. Qian beside him closed her eyes, absorbing the rich spiritual energy here, even feeling a little sleepy. Fortunately, Chen Mo reminded her in time to continue following him forward, and she recovered. The martial artists who were already cross-legged in cultivation advised the two to cultivate quickly as well. Chen Mo sneered in his heart. The rich spiritual energy here would definitely give birth to some powerful life. It was impossible to cultivate peacefully. As soon as the thought fell, there was a loud bang, as if something had fallen to the ground. It turned out to be a super-sized rat that had absorbed spiritual energy and become an essence. Nai Qian looked horrified, asking Chen Mo what kind of monster this was. Chen Mo explained that it was originally just a small rat, nourished by the spiritual energy here. It evolved into a monster. This demon rat suddenly erupted and rushed towards everyone. Spiritual energy gathered in Chen Mo's hand. He blasted the huge demon rat away with one punch. The other martial artists showed gratitude to Chen Mo, their faces filled with the joy of surviving a disaster. Then they charged towards the demon rat. But Chen Mo didn't want to waste time here. After all, he didn't know when the Void Mountain would close, so he reminded Qian to follow him quickly. Qian pointed forward, saying that many people had run towards a stone tower, but they were blocked by a group of armored puppets, and this group of armored puppets actually all exuded the aura of Grandmaster level bodyguards. Chen Mo guessed that they should be the guardians of the stone tower. Before he could act, these puppets had already been taken care of by other martial artists. However, Chen Mo was not in a hurry to go in. He sensed a very strong spiritual energy fluctuation inside, accompanied by a burst of death energy. Sure enough, the martial artists who rushed in first were scared and fled in a panic, shouting that there were ghosts inside. At this time, Chen Mo smiled at Qian, signaling that she could go in now. The first floor of the stone tower was a place to put sacrifices. Arriving on the second floor, Qian was very strange. How could it also be empty? Chen Mo told her that this was where the sacrificed souls were. Then he said faintly towards an open space, "Come out, don't hide." Suddenly, a transparent ghost suddenly appeared, scaring Qian to sit on the ground. The ghost looked at Chen Mo and asked, "Are you a survivor of the Great War back then?" Chen Mo followed his words to get information. "How long has that Great War been?" The ghost touched his chin, as if recalling, because the time was too long. He couldn't remember clearly, only vaguely remembered that there were no winners. Chen Mo asked him what place this was. The ghost said Spirit Tower. Just after saying these two words, he became excited and irritable. It turned out that he still thought he had not died in battle, repeatedly roaring that he was an invincible powerhouse at the time. Suddenly, Bai Qian struck Chen Mo with a palm. Chen Mo dodged, telling Qian to go to the third floor quickly. A Samadhi true fire directly burned the ghost into nothingness, and the third floor, besides a pile of spiritual tablets, had no other treasures. Chen Mo glanced at it, with the spiritual tablets of the Yin family's powerhouses engraved on it. Knowing that this was the Yin family's spirit tower, he reluctantly took Qian out. All the martial artists followed Chen Mo, continuing to move forward. After walking for a while, the crowd discovered that another group of people were standing in front of a palace. It seemed that there was more than one entrance to the Void Mountain, and this palace, named Sangyun Palace, should be the cave of Tsungsong Taoist, who broke through the divine realm thousands of years ago. Qian saw that they were not going in, and asked Chen Mo curiously what was going on. Chen Mo replied faintly that there was a formation. Just when Qian couldn't understand why these cultivators always like to set up formations in their residences, a beautiful girl walked up to Chen Mo and asked with a smile, "This handsome little brother, since you saw the formation at a glance, I wonder if you have a way to break it." Chen Mo didn't seem to like this woman very much, but asked who she was instead. A flash of surprise flashed in the beautiful girl's eyes. She didn't expect that her appearance would not arouse the interest of the handsome little brother. She quickly introduced herself as Xie Qing from the Feiyu sect, who knew that Chen Mo would directly say that he didn't want to know her, because Chen Mo could tell at a glance that this woman was a schemer. A bald head next to him looked at Xie Qing and sneered, "I didn't expect Feiyu Xie Qing, one of the the 4 spirits of the ancient martial arts lineage, to be snubbed as well. Xia Qing glared at him. Stop talking nonsense. Then she leaned closer to Chen Mo and asked him if he was from the ancient martial arts lineage. Chen Mo replied impatiently that it was none of her business. Xia Qing was secretly annoyed in her heart. When had she, a dignified genius beauty, ever been treated like this? But she couldn't see through Chen Mo's strength, and didn't dare to turn against Chen Mo rashly, so she just said sorry to bother you and turned to leave. At this time, Chen Mo walked towards the hall, arousing the ridicule of many people. He didn't bother to pay attention to these people, because they couldn't see these formations at all. Chen Mo tentatively unleashed a burst of spiritual energy, and a bolt of lightning suddenly exploded. He smiled disdainfully. It turned out to be just a simple lightning attracting formation. It seems that the legendary Tsungsong Taoist was nothing more than that. He raised his fist to the sky, using his physical body to resist the lightning in the formation. After consuming all the energy stored in the formation was instantly broken. The crowd followed in his footsteps and entered the hall. The palace was empty, except for some tables and chairs. There was nothing else. Seeing this scene, all the martial artists showed a look of disappointment. Even Chen felt that she had wasted a lot of effort just to see a broken hall. Chen Mo told her that it wasn't that simple. Just then, the stone door of the hall suddenly closed automatically and mysteriously, causing panic among many people. Chen Mo immediately grabbed Qian's hand, his face serious, telling her to follow him closely. Suddenly, an old voice, accompanied by a blue mist that appeared out of thin air, sounded, Why? I clearly saw that door, but I have never been able to enter. Why is this? The martial artists looked at the blue mist in panic, questioning loudly, Who is talking? The blue mist instantly transformed into a man, and answered that he was the master of this place, and this man was Tsungsong Taoist. Chen Mo looked at Tsungsong, a trace of disdain flashing in his eyes. A mere wisp of resentment dares to call himself the master. Hearing this, Tsungsong was furious. He struck Chen Mo with a palm. Chen Mo waved his hand casually, and Tsungsong was slapped to the ground. Looking at Chen Mo in horror, You are actually a descendant of the ancient race. Then can you give me the answer? Chen Mo neither admitted nor denied it, but was even more convinced that there must have been a very prosperous immortal cultivation civilization in China, which made him ask the doubts in his heart. It turned out that after Tsungsong broke through to the divine realm, he knew that this was not the end, but just the beginning, and he clearly saw that place. But no matter what, he couldn't enter, and once thought that the gate of immortality had been closed, so he was unwilling to waste his life, and this obsession turned into a remnant of regret today. Chen Mo's explanation to him was that the immortal realm was unsolvable, and the immortal realm that could be seen was not the immortal realm at all. But Tsungsong thought that Chen Mo was talking nonsense, and his face suddenly became extremely hideous. He actually fantasized about seizing Chen Mo and living another life. Chen Mo sneered playfully, The arrangement is pretty good, but can you do it? As soon as the words fell, Tsungsong laughed madly and used the star-slaying sword formation. Several divine soul swords shot towards Chen Mo. Caught off guard, Chen Mo was as if he was pierced by 10,000 arrows, scaring Qian to scream in panic. The big cousin hidden in the crowd showed a joyful expression. Tsungsong laughed even more unscrupulously when he heard Chen Mo's voice again. His pupils suddenly dilated. At this moment, Chen Mo was standing in front of him unscathed. Qian was so excited that she almost cried. If she lost Chen Mo as her support, she wouldn't know how to live. Li Zi suddenly had a look of despair, wondering how many tricks this guy still had. Tsungsong was so frightened that he didn't know what to do, shouting impossible. How could a dignified immortal venerables means, a master of ambushes, be imagined by such ants? Chen Laoliu didn't say a word and threw a punch. Tsungsong was instantly killed and dissipated in the air. Qian breathed a sigh of relief and hugged Chen Mo. Just as he was about to leave the Void Mountain with Qian, with a bang, the Void Mountain collapsed and turned into ruins. Chen Mo had a bad feeling in his heart, because this Tsungsong was obviously like the Mu family, a nest of blood feuds. But now he didn't have the mind to think about these, because it was time to settle the accounts with the villain who had plotted against him before. That was half of the CAI family's property. He was going to take it back. The luxurious villa in front of him was the residence of the Guanju CAI family. Miss CAI, we meet again. Chen Mo appeared silently in CAI Wenyo's room. CAI Wenyo was frightened out of her wits. Soon, the CAI family's senior management gathered in the hall, and CAI Wenyo told his father about plotting against Chen Mo before. The current head of the CAI family, CAI Yin Gwen. However, CAI Yin Gwen just wanted to buy the elixir with double the money, and threatened Chen Mo that if he wanted half of the property, he would be rude to him. Chen Mo deliberately said that he didn't want money, and asked him to return the elixir. But CAI Wenyao had already fed the elixir to his grandfather. Chen Mo just used this as an excuse to directly take his grandfather's life. As soon as these words came out, the CAI family's senior management clapped clamored. Cai Yingwen was as steady as an old dog, as if he had already guessed that Chen Mo would come up with this kind of trick, and took out the challenge letter that he had prepared long ago. It was the challenge letter from the master of Grandmaster Jiang, who he had killed before. Jade Dragon Realist. Cai Yingwen threatened that as long as he defeated Jade Dragon Realist, he would accept Chen Mo's conditions, and threw the challenge letter towards Chen Mo. Before the challenge letter could get close, Chen Mo was burned by the spiritual energy it emitted. Chen Mo accepted the challenge, but he wanted to add a bet. Cai Yingwen didn't even ask and directly let Chen Mo speak. Chen Mo pointed to the pair of women and said coldly, "If I win, I want all of your Cai family's assets and the life of your old patriarch." Presumptuous. You want to destroy my Cai family? Ha! You are unwilling to hand over half of the property according to the agreement, but instead repeatedly perfunctory and provoke me. This is the price. Chen Lao Liu versus Jade Dragon Realist. Who will win? Seeing Chen Mo so young, Jade Dragon Realist couldn't help but exclaim. Although Chen Mo saw that his spells were very amazing, his eyes revealed a trace of disdain. Make your move. Let me see your abilities in the art lineage. Jade Dragon Realist pointed out the dragon trapping lock. Chen Mo was instantly bound by invisible spiritual chains. He raised his eyebrows, but knew that this Jade Dragon Realist was indeed much stronger than Grandmaster Jiang back then. Before he could react, Jade Dragon Realist used the dragon twisting whirlwind again, a huge tornado, directly strangling towards Chen Mo. Chen Mo exerted force with both arms and broke the spiritual chains. He directly blasted away the raging tornado with one punch. Jade Dragon Realist was shocked. He didn't expect the young man in front of him to be so strong, and he easily resolved his powerful killing move with one punch. Next, it was Chen Mo's turn to make a move. It was still the unchangeable first move of the Heavenly Xian Divine Fist, breaking Mountain Moon. Jade Dragon Realist's face changed drastically. This punch made him feel extremely dangerous. He quickly used the first move of the Heavenly Book, Starry Sky Barrier. A circle of silver light curtain instantly wrapped him in it, blocking Chen Mo's blow. However, he didn't feel good either. The powerful force made his face pale and he took a few steps back. Chen Mo was also slightly surprised. He actually blocked it, not giving him a chance to breathe. Chen Mo unleashed the second move of the Heavenly Xian Divine Fist, Dividing Rivers. Jade Dragon Realist quickly slapped the Heavenly Book, using the second move, Falling Star Hammer. A huge meteor hammer appeared out of thin air and slammed down on Chen Mo's head. One punch and one hammer collided violently, like an atomic bomb explosion, producing a mushroom cloud. Cai Yingwen, who was watching, couldn't help but sweat. If Jade Dragon Realist lost, their Cai family would be finished. At this moment, Jade Dragon Realist's face was pale and he was panting. He never expected that he had already used the second move, but he still couldn't hurt Chen Mo at all. He could only risk damaging his body and use the third move of the Heavenly Book. He bit his fingertip and slapped the book fiercely. Earthburst Heavenly Star. Chen Mo looked up. Countless silver light balls exuding a dangerous aura appeared above his head. Jade Dragon Realist laughed madly and shouted a rising word. And suddenly, all the starlight light balls fell from the sky and smashed towards Chen Mo. Just when Cai Wenyo thought triumphantly that Chen Mo would definitely be wiped out, Chen Mo punched out the third move of the Heavenly Xian Divine Fist, suppressing Qian Kun. A series of loud noises exploded in the night sky, and all the starlight balls were shattered, turning into a sky full of silver light. Even Chen Mo felt the power of this attack, but it was still not enough to defeat him. Cai Wenyo was stunned, not daring to believe that Chen Mo could still survive. Jade Dragon Realist was also panicked. He had used his strongest move, but Chen Mo was still unscathed. Chen Mo smiled disdainfully. If this is all your strength, then you have lost. Jade Dragon Realist suddenly smiled and admitted defeat. Grandmaster Chen, this is my Jade Dragon Mountain. I will not lose. Disciple Jade Dragon borrows the power of the starry sky. The Heavenly Book releases all its power. The Heavenly Book in Jade Dragon Realist's hand keeps emitting sounds of battle. Chen Mo feels a powerful and oppressive aura spreading. Suddenly a silver light shot from the book into the void. Countless starlight intertwined in the air to form a huge star. This time Chen Lao Liu finally lost his composure, because this was the power of heaven and earth, a great formation left by ancient cultivators. Jade Dragon Realist shouted loudly, 10,000 stars. A thick beam of light shot out from the stars of the great formation, heading straight for Chen Mo, and his aura had been locked by the great formation. He couldn't avoid it. He could only face this blow head on. He kept pointing out the heaven slaying. The heaven slaying sword swelled against the wind, turning into a giant sword several tens of feet long. The light beam. Jade Dragon Realist sneered disdainfully. You are actually trying to resist the might of the Heavenly Emperor. You are simply courting death. When the heaven slaying touched the light beam failed to advance an inch. Jade Dragon Realist was once again frightened by Chen Mo's strength, but thought that he was just holding on. Sure enough, the heaven slaying sword was only supported for a moment before being bounced away. Cai Wenyo seemed to see hope again, seeing Chen Mo about to be submerged by the 10,000 stars formation. Some onlookers couldn't help but sigh. Chen Mo smiled faintly. Ly sighing that this formation was really good. With a loud bang, the position where Chenmo was located was blasted through. When the smoke cleared, a huge pit was revealed. Jade Dragon Realist breathed a sigh of relief. Cai Wenyo, gloating, ran to the pit to check the situation, thinking that Chenmo must have turned to ashes this time. However, the next moment, the entire earth suddenly shook violently. With a whoosh, Chenmo's figure shot into the air from the ground, reappearing in front of everyone. Jade Dragon Realist was immediately dumbfounded. All cognition was shattered. Chenmo was too lazy to talk nonsense. With a wave of his hand, Jade Dragon Realist's neck spurted out a 40-meter-long blood column, instantly attracting hatred from the northwest. The Cai family women were already scared stiff. Chenmo soared into the sky, condescendingly sneering, "Go back and prepare. Tomorrow I will go to take back what belongs to me." As soon as these words came out, Cai Yingwen knelt on the ground weakly. The Cai family was really finished this time, and Chenmo, at this time, had already flown to Jade Dragon Realist's lair. As soon as he entered Jade Dragon Pass, the small fries inside were scared and scattered everywhere. To be honest, Chenmo was also quite dangerous just now. If he hadn't already cultivated into the primal chaos, the crystal form and would form in the undying body, under that blow just now, would have been scattered long ago. He came here, of course, to pick up the loot. He was not disappointed here. The massive amount of spiritual medicine alone was enough for him to refine a life creation pill to recover from his injuries. The next day, Chenmo came to the Cai family again. Even though the Cai family senior management were very unhappy, they could only dare to be angry but not dare to speak. The Cai family invited the old patriarch this time. Chenmo was not intimidated at all. He still wanted to take back the Cai family property. Finally, a Cai family senior management couldn't help but question him what he was relying on. Chenmo turned his head and sneered, "Just relying on Lao Zi's fist being bigger than your Cai family's." That person immediately broke out in a cold sweat and closed his mouth. The Cai family's old patriarch still wanted to bargain with Chenmo. Chenmo shook his head, without the slightest room for negotiation. The old patriarch just wanted to beg Chenmo to let go of the Cai family's younger generation. Chenmo nodded. As long as they didn't provoke him, he was not interested in killing indiscriminately. Then he pointed out and took back this old life that should have ended long ago. Chenmo asked Cai Yingwen to hand over all the property, but he still couldn't see the situation and insisted on fighting Chenmo. As a result, he was ruthlessly harvested by Chenmo again. Chenmo shouted, "Who else in the Cai family can be responsible? If no one is responsible." Before he could finish speaking, a golden-haired fat man raised his hands and immediately took over the conversation. "I am Cai Ingu. I will be responsible. Please don't continue killing." Chenmo looked at him, asked him to temporarily manage the Cai family and promised that those who performed well could return personal assets. All the Cai family juniors breathed a sigh of relief. Cai Wenyo jumped out again, questioning sharply, "Do you still remember who you are? Do you still have any backbone?" Chenmo's eyes narrowed and asked Cai Ingu to deal with it. If it wasn't handled well, he wouldn't mind replacing someone. Cai Ingu showed a charming smile. "Please rest assured, Grandmaster Chen. I understand what to do." Cai Wenyo looked at Cai Ingu in panic, asking him what he wanted to do. Cai Ingu, in order to show his loyalty, of course, wanted to do things that would satisfy Chenmo. Cai Wenyo was still thinking of suppressing him with her status as the Cai family's eldest daughter. Cai Ingu laughed. "The Cai family's eldest daughter. Now I have the final say in the Cai family. Who of you is willing to serve the Cai family's eldest daughter?" As soon as the words fell, a small fry immediately volunteered. Cai Wenyo was scared out of her wits and retreated again and again. The small fry smirked and carried Cai Wenyo. "I will let you experience a happy life in an immersive way." Seeing Cai Wenyo shouting that she was also from the Cai family, Cai Ingu was furious. If it wasn't for this crazy woman secretly plotting against Chenmo, their Cai family wouldn't have fallen to this point. Others are afraid of being struck by lightning during tribulation. Chen Lao Liu wants to use heavenly lightning to temper his body. Just now, after Chenmo completely absorbed the life creation pill, he was about to break through to the 7th level of Qi condensation and the 6th level of spiritual Qi. Breaking through to the 7th level of Qi condensation requires going through the baptism of a lightning tribulation, also known as the small lightning tribulation. Chenmo rushed directly towards the heavenly lightning, using the heavenly lightning to temper his body. The lightning tribulation ended and Chenmo fell back to the ground. Feeling the changes in his body, a look of satisfaction appeared on his face. His strength was not only stabilized at the 7th level of Qi condensation, but also reached the profound heaven true dragon in advance to the realm of dragon form. If the dragon form is cultivated to the extreme, it can have dragon, comparable to the true dragon bloodline. The pressure alone is enough to make the weak unbearable. After the battle with Jade Dragon Realist, Chenmo realized that he must speed up the completion of the primal chaos undying body. Otherwise, if he encounters that kind of ancient formation again, he might be killed on the spot. With a wave of his hand, the water form whale soul was released from his storage ring, ordering him to spit out some deep sea ore. The water form whale soul was very unwilling to spit out the deep sea ore. Chenmo looked at his awkward appearance and smiled. Isn't it just consuming a little of your cultivation? It's not like I'm taking it for free. He handed him a golden jade bead, because metal produces water. This was exactly what the water-fawn whale soul liked to eat the most. The water-fawn whale soul jumped up and down excitedly. Chen Mo flicked his finger and shot it into his mouth, hoping that he would spit out more deep sea ore in the future. Looking at this little guy enjoying himself, Chen Mo was looking forward to what realm he could reach as he grew up like this. After looting again, Chen Mo left this place. On the road to the CAI family, a ragged woman wearing a hat was kneeling on the street begging passers-by. Chen Mo recognized this woman as CAI Wenyo, the eldest daughter of the CAI family. CAI Wenyo lowered the brim of her hat and said he had mistaken her, but Chen Mo pressed down on her head. "What if I can give you a new life?" CAI Wenyo looked at Chen Mo pitifully. "Believe me if you're truly willing. Life and death, obedience and rebellion are all within my thought." The reason CAI Wenyo had fallen to this state was all thanks to her second uncle CAI Yingguo. Moreover, he was planning to betray Chen Mo and sell all of the CAI family's assets. But to his surprise, Chen Mo actually brought CAI Wenyo before him. He was so scared that cold sweat streamed down his face. CAI Wenyo had already told Chen Mo about all his little schemes, but this guy was still pretending to be confused. CAI Wenyo directly exposed him face to face. CAI Yingguo explained guiltily that it was all a misunderstanding. CAI Wenyo roared, "Shut up! Do you know what I was thinking when I was playing cards with a dozen people? I was thinking of slicing you into 1,000 pieces." After speaking, she flung a knife piercing CAI Yingguo's body. Chen Mo looked at the lifeless CAI Yingguo and asked, "How does it feel to have your revenge?" CAI Wenyo revealed a ruthless look, wanting to kill those who had played cards with her. Chen Mo told her to do as she pleased. In a short while, those people were all sent by CAI Wenyo to collect their lunchboxes. Chen Mo nodded, very satisfied, and let CAI Wenyo regain control of the CAI family. But he warned, "Your life is mine. If you betray me, I will take it back at any time." CAI Wenyo immediately knelt down in submission. On the way back to Chaiseng, Chen Mo received a call from Jiang Yao. It turned out that Jiang Yao was being harassed by a powerful young master and could only think of asking Chen Mo to help her. Today, Jiang Yao was going to attend a class reunion. Her best friend Lin Meiling asked her why she hadn't gone in yet. Because An Shao had been looking for her. Jiang Yao shook her head like a rattle, not wanting to have anything to do with this young master. Lin Meiling also knew that this An Shao was not a good person, but this person had a strong background, so she could only advise Jiang Yao to endure it for a while. Just as Jiang Yao was hesitating, Chen Mo finally arrived as promised. Jiang Yao quickly grabbed Chen Mo's arm. "Thank you for agreeing to my request and pretending to be my boyfriend to be my shield." Lin Meiling pointed at Chen Mo with a disappointed look. "This is your solution?" "Just him." Chen Mo smiled and retorted, "What, am I not good enough? Don't worry, I'll try my best to be a good boyfriend." Jiang Yao stared at Chen Mo with a flushed face and said, "Thank you." Chen Mo knew Jiang Yao's feelings for him, but they were destined to be together but not meant to be, so he could only pretend not to know anything. Although Lin Meiling still didn't approve of Chen Mo, she couldn't continue to say anything under Jiang Yao's insistence. She just felt that Chen Mo was going to be in big trouble. This blonde, energetic young man was An Shao. When he saw Jiang Yao walking in with Chen Mo on her arm, a flash of anger crossed his eyes. He immediately called his follower Xiao Gaga and found an excuse to drive Chen Mo out. Xiao Gaga first walked up to Jiang Yao and told her that An Shao had been waiting for her, and said that since he was not from their school, he had to be asked to leave. But Jiang Yao pulled Chen Mo and left, not giving him any face at all. An Shao immediately stopped Jiang Yao and feigned, saying that since he was her friend, he should stay and have a gathering together. Chen Mo was indifferent, knowing that this guy had no good intentions. He would just help Jiang Yao solve it once and for all today. Xiao Gaga snorted coldly with a displeased look. "He's actually shameless enough to stay." Chen Mo roared the word, "Get out," at him. That voice actually transformed into a real dragon and pounced over. Xiao Gaga was so scared that he fell to the ground, making An Shao think he was just a coward. After Gaga was helped up, he explained with lingering fear that Chen Mo knew sorcery. An Shao's heart tightened, thinking that Chen Mo was a GU master, so he could only temporarily not confront him head on. However, later Chen Mo directly crippled his legs, completely solving this big trouble for Jiang Yao, and the An family from then on did not dare to provoke Jiang Yao. After parting ways with Jiang Yao, Chen Mo received a strange text message. "Rumor has it that there is a spiritual medicine in the depths of Yangdang Mountain. Do you dare to come?" Although he didn't know who sent it, he would definitely not let go of any spiritual medicine. Soon Chen Mo arrived at Yangdang Mountain. Walking to the edge of a valley, he found that many people had already arrived here, staring at a black rock in the middle of the pool. 9-leaf star orchid was actually growing on that rock. Chen Mo was overjoyed with this. He could condense his divine soul into his body and lay a good foundation for cultivating immortality. But what surprised him was that there was no spirit beast guarding this place. At this time, the 9-leaf star orchid was already mature, emitting a rich medicinal fragrance. Chen Mo flashed and stood above the rock. Then he waved his hand casually, forming a barrier. All those Xiao Gagas were blown away. Just as the 9-leaf star orchid was about to be obtained, a shout suddenly came, "Chen Mo, I finally caught you!" The originally calm pool suddenly surged with huge waves. A woman shouted in the air, "Start the formation." That huge wave actually condensed into a water dragon. Chen Mo was shocked. He didn't expect that this person would be willing to use spiritual medicine to set a trap for him. He didn't think anymore and punched towards the water dragon. The water dragon was shattered, transforming into huge waves again. Chen Mo's eyes shifted to the midair and he asked in a cold voice, "Who are you?" The woman flipped a strand of her hair. "Chen Master, who dares to laugh? Let's talk about surviving from the ancient immortal cultivation formation in the town first." After speaking, she waved her jade hand. Profound sky transformation, Azure Dragon formation. A huge Azure Dragon transformed in the air. But this woman was obviously not feeling well either. This formation almost exhausted all her spiritual power. This formation made Chen Mo feel an unprecedented pressure. He clasped his palms together, using the immovable Bright King body blocking the impact of this formation. Seeing that the power of the formation was gradually weakening but Chen Mo was still unharmed, the woman gritted her teeth, taking out her trump card, 1 yuan heavy water. Chen Mo couldn't help but shed a trace of cold sweat. He became more and more curious about this woman's identity. He didn't have the thinking of shifting gold diagram now, so he could only resist head-on just as the immovable Bright King body was about to be devoured by the 1 yuan heavy water, which was even more powerful than the Samadhi true fire. All of Chen Mo's hair actually turned white, suspended in the void, pointing upwards with one finger, and a huge light sword condensed behind him and extinguished. Then he pressed down with his sword finger. The Azure Dragon overturned the water. The formation was instantly disintegrated and fragmented. The woman was shocked beyond words, never imagining that Chen Mo's strength would be so strong. When Chen Mo asked her again who she was, she turned around and fled without saying a word. Chen Mo summoned the heaven-slaying sword. A circle of cyan light suddenly appeared on this woman, actually blocking the heaven-slaying strike. She laughed triumphantly. "Want to keep me? Maybe next life." Then she transformed into a stream of light and disappeared into the sky. Chen Mo did not continue to pursue, because although he had blocked the 1 yuan heavy water just now, he was invaded by the toxins in it. Fortunately, the heaven-slaying sword scared her away. Unexpectedly, the dignified old six also had a moment of miscalculation. Now he could only risk using this 9-leaf star orchid beyond his level. The 9-leaf star orchid immediately turned into a pool of spiritual liquid suspended in front of him. He opened his mouth and sucked it all into his body. The powerful spiritual power almost burst Chen Mo's body in an instant. Fortunately, the gold-wood, water, fire and earth bodies of the mixed yuan undying body stabilized the violent spiritual power and slowly repaired the injuries. Then he summoned the water-type crystal soul, allowing it to absorb spiritual power infinitely. He finally suppressed the crazy violent energy in his body and his whole person gradually returned to calm. Half a month later, Chen Mo returned to Jianye, helping his mother survive the Maihua crisis and let the mastermind Li Jia wait for the 3-year agreement. Then he was recalled by Jiang Hashan, letting him represent the national interest to participate in the peace battlefield. The peace battlefield is a special space where danger and opportunity coexist. Opened once every 10 years, qualified powerful countries select 7 of the most outstanding warriors to enter the competition. The loser needs to agree to the sage's request in order to solve international disputes and maintain world peace. Chen Old Six not only defeated 4 countries with his own strength but also tricked them out of their achievements and obtained the identity prediction of entering the peace battlefield 3 times at will. However, just as he was returning to Yuyang, Jiang Hashan told him some bad news. His father's Chen family was in a huge crisis. It turned out that the ceiling of China, Nangong Enyu, had emerged. In order to avenge her people, she captured Chen Mo's parents, as well as all the Chen family members to the Nangong family's ancestral tomb, preparing to let them be buried with Chen Mo for destroying the Nangong family. The old man in front of him was Chen Mo's grandfather Chen Guoliang. Just as Nangong Yu was preparing to take his life first, Chen Mo finally arrived in time. Li Sufeng quickly reminded Chen Mo that this person was very strong and to be careful in dealing with him. Chen Mo nodded. This time he would completely erase the Nangong family. Nangong Yu was furious, wanting to let Chen Mo see the power of the god realm. However, what was slapped in the face was that he was punched into the ground by Chen Mo's fist, shocking universe, turning into ashes. Just as the Chen family was cheering, Chen Mo's face was solemn. All the birds were stimulated by the terrifying aura and fled from here. Then the earth began to crack, violently shaking. A mad laugh suddenly came out. Unexpectedly, Nangong Enyu had been reborn. It turned out that she used Chen Mo's Shukil strike to break through the divine realm's bone change. She now looked at Chen Mo as if looking down at an ant. Chen Mo didn't even see Nangong Yu's figure clearly, and she had already arrived behind him, punching him in the back. Next, Chen Mo was ruthlessly crushed by Nangong Yu, completely unable to resist. Could it be that Chen Old Six would die and have his strength weakened this time? Nangong Yu used his ultimate move. Chen Mo smiled. He wondered if this #1 person in China could withstand his trump card, the Great Dao 9 Swords formation heavenly potential. Obviously, Nangong Yu underestimated this Old Six too much. This powerful killing move directly turned him into nothingness, completely dissipating in this world. And the mastermind behind the scenes was actually his grandfather Li Dongyang. This time he failed. He directly contacted the ancient martial sword, preparing to attack Chen Mo again.